Okay, I think I'm live. I don't know. Trying to get this all set. Okay, I'm ready when you are, sweetheart.
Okay. So this is a family keepsake journal, and it's called Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story. And about this book, being a mother is forever. No matter how old or where they are, your children remained attached to you. Your lives forever interwoven. They are always in your thoughts and hearts. Being a mother is constant. Wondering how your children are doing is always a part of you, even after they have grown and moved on. Your sleep remains a little less restful, your ears still listening for a midnight cry from a crib that has been gone for years. Being a mother is unconditional. No matter the paths your children travel or the choices they make, your love is as unrelenting as the day you first held them. Being a mother is quiet. Your constant sacrifice to your children and family is always there, but often unseen. Like the air around us, a mother's gift of herself is a part of everything. This book was created to give mothers a place to share the stories of their lives, what they've experienced, their accomplishments, their challenges, victories, and dreams. The hope is that this book will create conversations, encourage understanding, and serve as a reminder of all that our moms have given to us. All right. So it's your birthday. Life began with waking up and loving my mother's face. George Eliot. So what's your birthday?
I was born November 19th, 1968 in San Leandro, California.
San Leandro.
It's the Bay Area of California.
And your full name at birth?
Sandra K. Thompson, K-A-Y.
Were you named after a relative or someone else of significance?
Well, my mom told me that I was named after her best friend from childhood. And I don't know much about her. Mom lost track of her. But that's all I know is I was named after my mom's friend, Sandra. My middle name, Kay, is my mom's middle name. So, Sandra Kay. Judy K, Sandra K.
It asks, in what city were you born? San Leandro.
That was San Leandro, Alameda County.
Do you know your length and weight at birth?
I know I was like 6 pounds, I think even. And I do not know my length. Mom said I was little. So I was like 6 pounds.
Were you born in a hospital?
I was. My dad was out truck driving. He was hauling fuel. And so he was not there. My mom did not have a driver's license. And the neighbor, Fina Alvarado, was my mom's only friend, I guess you'd say. She kind of took mom under her wing. And she's the one that took mom to the hospital to give birth to me.
Do you know your first words?
I do not know my first words. They didn't keep a baby book of me, so it's kind of funny. You always start with a baby book with the first child, and by the time you get to the third one, you either don't have one or it's empty. It's blank. I don't know how these ladies that had 10 kids ever did it. So no, I don't know any of that kind of stuff. The only thing I remember my mom talking about my childhood was, Cindy was my protector. I was her baby doll. And I know that when we moved from the flatlands and the sidewalks and city streets, and I was 2, but I couldn't walk on uneven ground, and I was constantly falling. Mom said I was one big bruise for quite a long time because I didn't understand uneven ground because I was raised on sidewalks.
How old were you when you started to walk?
Well, she said I was walking at 2, so I know before then. So I have no idea.
And how old were your parents when you were born?
I know my mom was 26, and there's 9 years between the two. So I'm going to say my dad was 35. And my mom almost died having me. She started hemorrhaging, and they had to do an emergency procedure on her because of the bleeding. So I do know that.
How did your parents describe you as a baby?
I don't ever remember him talking about it. I know that once I learned how to talk, I never shut up. Because they named me Motor Mouth. Well, my dad did. And I remember mainly Sherry saying, "Can you just be quiet? Can you just be quiet?" So I was a very talkative child.
Like Sage.
Yes, I was thinking of Sage when I said that the first time. Sage is very jabbery.
Jabber, jabber, jabber. Mm-hmm. All right. What stories have you been told? Oh, we're going to go back. You're going to probably have to repeat some of this.
That's fine.
What stories have you been told about the day you were born?
Stories I've been told about the day I was born.
So Dad was truck driving.
Yes. Fina was the one that took my mom to the baby. Did you say
Fina?
No, Fina. Fina. Alvarado. Oh gosh, and she had several kids. She had Helen and Gloria and Mary and Nick. Oh my gosh, I can't remember them all. I think that's all of them.
Was your mom, did Grandpa ever come, or did she just do it alone?
She did it completely alone. My dad was cross country. So Fina took her to the hospital and then took all the kids back home and watched the kids while Mom was in the hospital because they kept her for a few days. Mom was very alienated. She didn't have, like I said, a driver's license or any kind of independence. She just had 4 kids, well, 4th, me being the 4th, and a little house in San Leandro. The little house is no longer there. The little house, from what I was told, is it was tore down to build the freeway through San Leandro. My mom always wanted to go back. She said she loved that house. It had hardwood floors, and she said you could eat off of them because she kept them so clean.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory? Probably the escapades with my brother, even though sometimes he didn't like me at all and was super mean to me. But we were 2 peas in a pod exploring the mountains, and I don't even remember asking Mom if we could go places or do things. We just went. And it's kind of weird. It's like back in that era, I guess it's like, well, if they get home at dark, then we know they're safe. If they're not home at dark, then we come looking. So probably young childhood was adventuring, digging caves in the ground, and riding our pigs. We had a pig ranch, and Robert and I would go jump on the pigs, and they'd take off, and we'd have to try to hang on with our legs. Oh man, I bet we were stinky. I remember falling into where they would wallow in the mud. I remember Mom taking a hose to us and squirting us off in the front yard because she wouldn't let us in the house because we weren't very clean. Other childhood memories was me and my horse. I was always on my horse. My first horse was Peanut. He was a little dun, I want to say like a POA or a miniature horse. He didn't look like a Shetland. He wasn't as stocky as a Shetland. He looked literally like a miniature horse. And he was my bestest buddy.
Peanut died.
Huh?
I remember when Peanut died.
I know. He was like 34 years old when he passed away. There on the property. He's buried there on the property in Narromani on Dunlap Road.
I remember that. I remember that vividly.
Yeah. Huh?
Didn't Morgan find him and came back to tell you?
Yeah, he did.
I remember that.
He was like 34. He probably just had a heart attack. He probably just was time. It was just time. He had been through all of us, and then he went through, I believe Jennifer and Jackie, the Ulicks, had him for a while. And then I think he went to Cindy's for a while, and then he came to me, back to me. Which was awesome. So he kind of raised a lot of children, but his name was Peanut. And then my second horse, which I kind of stopped riding Peanut when I got the bigger horse, and his name was Stormy. He was a beautiful black and white pinto. And from what I understand, years before, he had belonged to my cousin Tammy when she lived at the base of the hill by Cove Avenue. And the first time she met Stormy, she said, "That's my old horse." And it's kind of strange and kind of a weird loop in reality. But my second horse, Cora, was also Tammy's at one time in her life. And I thought that was very odd. So, and she was also a black and white paint. And then Cora had the baby Corey. And I raised Corey and broke her out. And when I got married to Randy, I sold her to my aunt for $400 so I could buy a wedding ring.
Wow. What happened the year you were born? So Google the following for the year you were born. Okay. What are some notable events that occurred?
Okay, television. Let's see. We got Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In was the top-rated show, known for its phonetic slapstick sketch comedy that helped launch like Goldie Hawn and Lily Tomlin. Oh, I love Lily.
So what do you have like? So we'll get into like the Academy Awards and popular movies and songs and stuff.
What are you wanting right now, honey?
Notable events. So like, what are big things that happened? It could have been a storm, something that happened in someone's presidency, a bill that passed, just a notable event.
Okay. How about the news? News in 1968?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. 1968 was a tumultuous year dominated by news of the Vietnam War's Tet Offensive, the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy, and the rise of social and political movements. Key events also include President Lyndon B. Johnson not seeking re-election, riots at the Democratic National Convention. Ooh, I didn't know that. Richard Nixon's election as president, and the Apollo 8 mission orbiting the moon. The year also saw the capture of the USS Pueblo by North Korea and the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1968. Do you want me to copy this and send it to you so you can write it all down?
No, I got it. The Vietnam Wars, assassination of MLK and JF Kennedy, Apollo 8, capture of the USS Pueblo, and the Civil Rights Act of 1968.
Oh, and I don't remember the Democratic riots. I don't know what that was all about. I'll have to look that up. That's really weird. I never even knew there was riots going on back then. Okay, what else we got?
What movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture?
Movie winner, 1968. All right. Let's see. Okay, the big movie winner at the 1968 Academy Awards honoring the 1967 films was In the Heat of the Night, which won Best Picture with Rod Steiger, also Best Actor for it. Other major winners include Katharine Hepburn, Best Actress, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and then Mike Nichols, Best Director in The Graduate, and Estelle Parsons, Best Supporting Actress in Bonnie and Clyde. Now that
Who
was
was
for
the best actor?
well, the best actor.
Yeah, who won that year for best actor? I got Katharine
Well,
Hepburn for
that's the
best
thing is
actress.
this is actually going honoring 1967, so maybe I should do 1969 so it honors 1967. Let me do this differently.
Okay.
Okay, so the big movie winner for 1969, which was based on 1968, was Midnight Cowboy, taking the top
Ooh.
prize for Best Picture at the 41st Academy Award, though the ceremony actually happened in April of 1969, honoring 1968 films, while Oliver won Best Picture for the 1968 film celebrated at the ceremony held in April 1969. For movies released in the calendar year of 1969, hits include Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy, and the Academy Award films of that year would be in 1970. Okay. Held in Ford. Okay. Best Picture was Oliver. Other major wins were Carol Reed, Best Director for Oliver. Cliff Robertson. Hi, Maddie. Okay, Jack. Okay. Best Actress for. Hold on. I got a little problem with dogs. Katharine Hepburn, The Lion in Winter. She was really popular, wasn't she? She's putting out movie after movie. Because she won the year before, too. Barbara Streisand in Funny Girl. Oh, Katharine Hepburn and Barbara Streisand tie for Best Actress. Wow. Okay. So it looks like Cliff Robertson was the Best Actor for Charlie. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What were a few popular movies that came out in 1968?
I think I read those off, didn't I?
I don't remember.
2001, A Space Odyssey, Rosemary's Baby, Bullitt, Bullitt, ooh, and Planet of the Apes. The
And
Lion.
that was for 1968?
That's what it says, the top 10 movies, 1968. The Lion in Winter, Night of the Living Dead, The Odd Couple, Once Upon a Time in the West, Funny Girl, Yellow Submarine, Oliver, Faces, Romeo and Juliet, Shame, Hang 'em High, Targets. Gosh, there's a lot of them. There was a lot of movies that came out. 2001 Space Odyssey, I think, was probably that one and Oliver.
What song was on the top of the Billboard charts?
Okay. Top Billboard charts for 1968. Let's go. This will be interesting. Ha! That's so funny. Number 1, The Beatles, Hey Jude, which my mom's name is Judy. Otis Redding, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. I karaoke that all the time. I also, one of my favorite songs was Honey. Honey, I miss you, and I'm feeling good, and I'd long to be with you, if only I could. And
who was the leader of the country?
Oh gosh, I just said that.
Was it Nixon?
I think so. I think that's what I just said. It was an election year. Yeah, it was actually Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon
I think
Johnson.
Nixon had just gone out, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, that election was won by, okay. But okay. In 1968, Lyndon B. Johnson was the president of the United States, but he did not run for re-election. The president election that year was won by President Nixon. So Lyndon B. Johnson was president most of the year because I was born in November, and then Nixon took over in November. Well, won the election in November. Cool. And actually took over in 1969. So we were both right.
What were a few popular television shows?
Oh, TV shows. Um, 1968, Here's Lucy. Adam 12. Bonanza. I don't remember any of these. I don't think this is correct.
I remember Bonanza.
Right, but I'm not thinking that's correct. That doesn't sound right. That's 70s. I know growing up we had like 3 channels.
So on my end, it says the #1 ranked show was Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
That's what I was thinking. It was Laugh-In from what I was looking up.
Yeah. So hold on. I gotta erase this.
Yeah, because I don't think any of that's correct. I think that was AI doing weird stuff.
Bonanza's on here.
Okay, Bonanza. I could see Bonanza definitely.
Gomer Pyle, USMC.
It's Gomer Pyle. Yes.
Oh, Gomer.
He later, he's a great singer too. Gomer Pyle was. He has several albums that were out. But he also played on the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh. Family Affair, Gunsmoke, Here's Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what were the prices for the following items?
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm ready.
A loaf of bread.
I think it was like 35 cents. Hold on. I looked it up. Loaf of bread. 21 to 39 cents.
21 to 39 cents?
Yes. And that's for a pound and a half. Or 39 cents. So 21 cents for the 12 ounce and 39 cents for the bigger ones.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Small loaves?
2 different sizes.
Right. 2 different sizes. 1.5 pounds and 12 ounce. Say what?
A gallon of milk.
I think it was 95 cents. If I remember correctly.
A cup of coffee?
No, it was not 95 cents. It was, for a gallon of milk, was 45 to 53 cents. Wow. Can't even fathom that. A cup of coffee?
Yep.
A cup of coffee in 1968 cost around 40 cents.
And what about a dozen eggs?
$0.53.
And And the cost of a new home.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where you were at. Okay, the average for the U.S. is 24,700. Though some sources also say 14,950, with
That's so
prices
crazy.
varying by region and specific features.
That's so wild. What about a first class stamp?
Stamp prices, 1968. 6 cents.
And a new car?
I think it was like $1,200. Nope, it was actually between 2,600 and 3,400.
A gallon of gas.
The Mustangs started at 2,600, and the Cadillacs could reach as much as 5,000.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. What did you say, honey? What was the last one?
A gallon of gas.
Gallon of gas. 1968. 33 cents. So, quick story. When I was in college, prices dropped on gas, and I was actually fueling for 65 cents a gallon. Yeah, that was 1986.
Wow.
Crazy, huh?
It is.
Okay.
And a movie ticket.
I think they were called a dime or a nickel. What, Jackie? Do you want to try to come up here, Jackie? You goofball. Okay, a movie ticket in 1968 cost around $1.31.
Okay.
Increasing from early 1960s of 86 cents.
Wow.
Well, that would make sense because my dad used to talk about it. He was born in 1937, and he would talk about the dime movie theaters.
All right. So we're going back to growing up.
Okay.
How would you describe yourself when you were a kid?
Annoying. I believe I was very annoying to people. I was a busybody and nonstop talker. I was also rather pushy to people, bossy. But I think it's because that's what I learned, because I was the baby of the family and everybody was bossy with me. So I kind of learned to be bossy. And I was mostly bossy to those that were younger or smaller than me, like my cousin Maria and Ira and Josh and Beth. Just saying. Sorry, Mia.
Did you have a nickname when you were growing up?
Yes. Stinkweed was what I remember my dad calling me. He called me Stinker, Stinkweed. And he also called me Motormouth and Jabberjaws. My cousins called me San.
Who were you best friends with in elementary school?
Candy Bar and Cheryl Rice. Candy Bar was we started kindergarten together, and I believe Shelly Guy started kindergarten with us. Later, in the later years, like fifth, sixth, seventh grade, it was Cheryl Rice. Um, growing up was very cliquish, and there was a lot of bullying going on. I remember going to school one time, and two girls were bruising me. They were pinching me on my arms, under my arms, and I remember being slammed against a post, the metal post down Miramani School's walkway, the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being kicked. I remember them pulling on my arms like a tug of war. They were abusing me. So there was definitely bad times, and I always put so much pressure on who liked me and who didn't like me, and I think it's because of the childhood bullying I went through, because I never knew if they were going to be my friends today or tomorrow like they were yesterday, if that makes sense.
Right.
Very, very cliquish. Very, very cliquish. And it changed. So Kathleen Welch was the closest friend that lived close to me. So we spent a lot of time together. Well, her name's Kathleen Grissom. She was Welch in school, but I know that her real name was Grissom because we're still friends today. In fact, she lives in Arkansas, and I'm in Oklahoma.
Did I go to school with her son?
No,
I remember the Welches.
that was a totally different group of kids, honey.
Okay. What were your regular chores, and did you get an allowance? And if so, how much was it, and what did you spend it on?
We never got allowances. Back in my day, allowance wasn't a thing. You were expected to work if you wanted to eat. It was a family thing. You helped grow the gardens. You helped grow the food, feed the hogs, which I didn't have to do a lot of the hog feeding because I was the baby of the family and I had other siblings. I didn't have to take over that kind of help until Robert left the house. So I was a teenager. He left the house when he was 15 or 16. Well,
what were your chores?
My main chore was cutting kindling, and it was my job to take care of the rabbits and do the breeding program because we ate a lot of rabbit and we sold rabbits. So my dad tried to teach me to butcher them, and it was psychologically very difficult for me because they were my friends and I raised them from the time they were babies. I would take them out of their little boxes and play with them and make them little hats and little vests, and they were my friends. So when I was 9 or 10, my dad had me butcher one. He made me, and it broke me. It was bad. It was really bad. So the rabbits were definitely my job. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the bunnies. I enjoyed the babies. I enjoyed getting to pick which buck went with which doe and what kind of babies we'd get. It was fun for me. So we had these little tin cans, and I get a gallon can of rabbit pellets, and they get a scoop of that every day. They get a little scoop of, I want to say it was an 8-ounce can, tomato sauce can. And that's what they would get every day, and water. But see, when I was younger, we didn't have electricity. We lived in a mobile home. I don't remember for how long. I remember digging all the ditches for it to get the water and the electricity in. But I remember having to haul water. So there for a while, I would have to haul the water. I don't even remember where I got it from, but I do remember carrying the gallon cans of water to water all the rabbits. And I remember the outhouse with sheets. So anyways, next.
Describe what your room looked like when you were growing up. Was it messy or clean? Did you have paintings or posters on the wall? And what were the main colors?
Okay. When I was younger, before the house burnt down, the mobile home burnt down. It was a single wide, double, single wide with an expando, they called it. So it had one little room that was bigger, and they attached it to the side of the house. And that mobile home burnt down in 1978, and we got it from my great grandma. Her and her husband Bloom lived in it, and we pulled it onto the 6.8 acres there in Miramonte that I was raised in. And the bedroom, there was only 2 bedrooms in it. There was the back bedroom, which was the biggest bedroom, and that belonged to Cindy and Sherry. And then there was a really small room that literally could barely fit a bunk bed in it, and that was mine and Robert's room. When we got a little bit older, when the house burnt down, I was living on a rollaway bed in the back room with my sisters. So there was no decor. There was nothing on the walls or no decor. After the house burnt down and I was just turned 10, Cindy and I shared a room, and the colors were, I remember the curtains and the bedspreads matched, and they had brown flowers on them, so they were like fall colors. And we had a matching beds, nightstands, and dressers. I still have a nightstand. I still have one of the nightstands. After Cindy moved out, posters were on my wall. Oh, I do remember Cindy had a poster behind her door. I think it was Gibbs. One of the Gibbs, a singer actor. And I remember her kissing the back of the door in the house that burned down. So I do remember that. So I guess you would say she had a poster.
What is one thing you miss about being a kid?
I want to say my health. Waking up and can't wait to get outside and go do something. I miss getting on my horse and the freedom I had. I missed feeling good. Although, even as a child, I was still kind of sickly, but I didn't ache like I do now. But I would say just going and doing. I was always busy. That's what I miss the most, I think, is just the freedom I had as a child. I would go horseback riding, never tell anybody where I was or what I was doing. I would just get on my horse and go.
Freedom.
Yeah.
We ain't have that anymore in this day and age.
No. And I mean, Robert and I would take off and be gone all day long. And never once do I remember my mom yelling at us for not telling her where we went, or I never remember any of that. We just went outside, and I guess Mom figured we'd show up when we were hungry or hurt.
Yeah.
So we were always
done
running.
With childhood and growing up for the young years. We're gonna we got 2 pages that I want to do, and then we'll stop there because then we'll go into the teenage years.
Okay, we're probably
these 2 pages. They're called Mom Trivia.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
let's see if
what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
My favorite growing up was vanilla ice cream, and it had half-cut cherries, the maraschino cherries in it. But then
I think this is for now.
Oh, for now, I'm going to say pistachio nut or cherry cheesecake or strawberry cheesecake, one of the 2. I also like black forest or black walnut. Black walnut forest ice cream was one of my favorites too. I don't know. I have all kinds of good ones. Yummy. I just like ice
How do you
cream.
like? You're like, I like all of it.
I like anything.
How do you like your coffee? Decaf and white.
Decaf and a little bit of coffee. Yes. And the only reason I like decaf is because I can't drink caffeine because it makes my heart palpitate. So, and it causes a lot of anxiety. I never started drinking caffeine ever, or coffee, I should say. I never drank coffee until after I worked at the Reedley Police Department.
That makes sense.
And when I was doing graveyards and stuff, I learned to really rely on that coffee, especially when I
Yeah.
was raising 3 kids on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. When Raylan was first born, I drank like 3 energy drinks a day. I don't even drink them anymore.
I can't.
tried.
Yeah. It affects
Mhm.
me in not a good way.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year with all expenses paid, where would you go?
A tropical island somewhere with a hammock on the beach. I love the sound of the ocean. I love to lay and just listen.
How do you like your eggs cooked?
Over easy. And then I like it. This is the way my grandma, Fresno grandma, and I used to eat them. And we'd break the yolks, and then we'd squeeze out all the runny stuff, and we'd eat the rest. And then we'd take our toast, our buttered toast, and which was usually homemade or government butter, one of the two. It tastes totally different than today's butter. And I would slather up all of the juices on the plate, and it was so yummy. We ate a lot of pork, so we had a lot of bacon and sausage growing up.
Would you rather cook or clean?
Depends on the day. I'm going to
That's
say
fair.
clean. I used to like to cook. I don't like cooking anymore. I used to like to bake, I should say. I used to like to bake more so than cook.
What is your shoe size?
Used to be 7.5. Now it's more like an 8.5.
What is your superpower, or what superpower would you choose for yourself?
The power of healing. Self and others. Whether it be physically or emotionally.
Do you have any allergies?
No.
What is your biggest fear?
Losing my children. The pain of death. Losing my loved ones. I lost my mom when I was 29, and it was devastating. I can't even fathom losing a child.
Me either.
I feel so much for my sister losing Jess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Painful.
What would you order for your last meal?
A big old thick T-bone steak. Medium rare. Medium rare. I like it slightly pink, bloody. Slightly. If there's no blood, I don't like it. It's cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
I would have mashed potatoes and gravy. I love coleslaw, so that would kind of have to be my veggie. Has to be a good coleslaw, though.
Miss Fred's coleslaw.
Right. His carrot, raisin, cabbage, honey, ranch coleslaw. It was so good.
Yeah, so good.
With a little lemon juice.
Yeah, I want to try and make it. One day I will.
Yep.
Have you ever broken a bone?
I probably have growing up, but didn't know it because back in the day we just didn't go to doctors. We just were on the couch until we healed. I would say my first broken bone was when they chopped my toe off when I was 19. Yes, my big toe.
What is your favorite flower or plant?
I like peonies. I think peonies are the most beautiful flower. I love roses, but I don't like the thorns.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a bunch of thornless roses, I'd be a happy camper. But peonies, they're just gorgeous. I love carnations. The smell of a carnation, oh, so yummy. And that's about it. Those are my faves.
All right. There's infancy and early childhood. And then next, when we do this next, we'll jump into the teenage years.
Ooh, trouble years. Oh, ho, ho, goodness. I don't know if we should do that. I was a troublemaker. I wish I could get this computer to hold my thing. The hinge is like goofed up on my laptop, and it's making it flop around. So we have been on for 46 minutes.
Sounds about right.
And we're going to go for what, an hour?
Yeah, I just want to do like chunks,
Okay.
like infancy to childhood. The next time we'll do teenage years.
Okay, let's do infancy and childhood.
Huh?
Let's do infancy and childhood for the next 14 minutes, 13 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
What do you want to talk about?
Infancy and childhood. I want to talk about some of the fun stuff we used to do. So,
Okay.
look familiar? Want to see?
I can't see you.
Oh, you can't see me. Where you go?
Oh, no.
I had the cup that you gave me. Okay, I've taken a drink. I was watering my whistler.
Oh.
Okay. So my dad had drug home something from the dump, and it kind of looked like, well, it was a kid's toy, but it was pretty rickety. And it was kind of like a teeter-totter on a rocking chair. So this metal framed, tube framed thing was like a rocking chair that rocked back and forth. And it had 4 seats on it. I wish I could draw a picture of it. Maybe before the next time I'll have to draw a picture and show you guys what it looked like. But my brother and I don't know how we're not dead, but we used to play on that thing, and it was insane. Oh my gosh, because he weighed more than me, so he'd flip me up in the air and go down, and all of the tickles in my tummy. But that was a really fun toy my dad drug home for us. The other thing that we had a lot of fun on was a stick swing down in the pasture. And I think that's why I was so healthy physically. I was thin because we ran. I mean, my brother, we ran everywhere. So it was down the mountain, and the stick swings it was held together by this big old fat thick black rope. Well, maybe it wasn't that big, but to me it was because I was little, so my hands would hang on to it. But we would spin them around each other, and he would sit in the middle, and I'd go flying out around, and then he'd run over towards the tree and make me smash into the tree. He was really mean. He made me tough. Robert made me tough. So that was a lot of fun. I loved going and playing on the stick swing. And I'd beg him, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. But he would sometimes. And I'd usually slam into the tree and fall off my stick. And I would hit the tree probably 6-8 feet in the air. So then I'd fall off and go plop. I don't know how I didn't break anything. I just don't. And then we'd climb up the tree. Oh my gosh, so scary. There's this one branch that came down. And we'd grab hold of that and have to flip our legs up and pull ourselves up. And we'd be way up in the tree, climbing over. Oh my gosh. And I'm scared of heights. And I remember being scared back then, but I did it. I didn't get told. I avoid heights altogether now. I just start shaking really bad when I'm up high, and I get vertigo.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so that's about it for my childhood adventures. I'm sure as we go, I'll remember other stuff.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
what else you got, honey?
That was it. That was
That's
all
it
the
for today?
questions out of the book.
Yay!
Yeah,
So we finished our first session.
we did. I'm so excited.
So, are you learning a lot?
I am learning a lot.
Okay. I
I
love
am
you.
learning a lot.
And thank you for doing this for me. I think this is so fun and so special.
It is special and it is fun. And I guess for me, losing Fred, like I had so many questions. Like I thought I had more time to like sit with him over a cup of coffee and just ask him
And
about his life.
yeah,
And
we don't ask questions. It's sad. There's a lot of times, even at my age, 57, when I think, why didn't I ask mom this? And why I remember mom telling me this, but I don't know the whole story. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I wish I would have taken more time to listen and take notes and understand where my parents were and how things were for them as children.
I would
Because
love to read if you did this with Grandma.
oh
I
my
bet
gosh,
hers is crazy because
yeah,
she for sure didn't have like electricity and like how much
no,
stuff
they
cost
didn't
when
have
she was a
food.
baby.
They didn't have food. My mom was born in
Right.
1945, and they would have to go and steal potatoes and they would run through the cornfields and eat raw corn for food. I mean, it was crazy. They would make they'd take safety pins and make hooks and go down to the Mississippi River to fish.
Right,
And
my point.
and
Like
oh
that's just so
and
crazy.
and she would tell me stories about they had one bicycle. They had gone to the junkyard and they slowly built a bicycle between all five kids, and they shared
That
it.
is so cool.
And they shared this bicycle. I thought it was cool too. So
That is
I
cool.
do remember some stories, but I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more
Yeah.
stories.
Or like what Grandma Bonnie's, great Grandma Bonnie's would
Oh,
be.
hers was probably crazy because there was tons of kids in that family, and she was the baby. She was the last child born, and she was a twin.
And she was
And
probably born in like what, 1920?
1923, I think, either 21 or 23.
Yeah.
She lost, and it's all girls except for her twin was a boy, and there was one boy that died at 18 months. His name was Albert.
Oh man.
And someday, maybe as we're doing this, I'll go through what I remember from my great grandmother's diary talking about that time,
Yeah.
so that can be recorded for future too, because things were so much different back then.
What was great Grandma Bonnie's mother's name?
Lydia Perry was the maiden name. Lydia Cornelia Perry.
Okay.
She married Bertram Perry. And I'm trying to remember before what her great grandma's maiden name or birth name was. Ooh, my brain's failing me. I know it, but I can't remember it right now.
My brain's been
So
having a lot of that too lately.
Bertram passed away in the 1930s. Her husband did. Great grandma, I want to say, was it 30s? I want to say he died of cancer in the 30s or 40s. I'm trying to remember. But he was quite young when he passed. So, but great grandma, she lived till 1985, I think. She was 90. I remember her 91st birthday.
Dang, she lived a long time.
Might have been 92nd birthday. I'd have to go back in the pictures, but there was a 9 and a 2 or a 9 and a 1 on that cake that they made for her birthday. So
Well,
yeah.
Grandma Bonnie lived for a long time too.
Yeah, she was 89 when she passed, really close to 90, and she died of
Yeah.
Alzheimer's. Great grandma, she just failed. She just failed to thrive. She
Yeah.
went out to spit off of Aunt Jeannie's porch and fell and hurt her shoulder. And she just went downhill very fast from there.
Yeah.
So, all right, sweetie. Well, I love you. Thank you. And we'll come back for volume 2.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too, honey. Bye bye.